Ghostbusters, the most anticipated movie of 2016 for pretty much all the wrong reasons. And just in case some of you don't believe me, there is my ticket stub. So, I have actually seen this film, so I can actually give an opinion on this film. Before I start talking about this film, one thing I need to let you guys know is that I've never watched the original Ghostbusters. Yeah, no, big shock, another classic movie I've never watched. But it's important because I do not have that nostalgia tied to this property, so I'm not going to go in there blinded by my love for the original films. I went into Ghostbusters with worst movie of 2016 expectations. I was not looking forward to it that much at all, but then the positive word of mouth started coming out last night and I was like, maybe it's actually not that bad after all. And this is the part where all the internet haters, trolls and sad pathetic losers start disliking and hating this video, because I for one thought Ghostbusters was actually a decent film. I didn't think it was that bad. The thing that worked the most for me in this film was the actual Ghostbusters crew. They had really good chemistry with one another. You really bought their friendships and their partnerships. Individually speaking, Kristen Wiig, she's pretty much the most intelligent, straight-minded one of the group, and she did a fine job. She wasn't the most entertaining one. Melissa McCarthy was Melissa McCarthy, but a more tolerable Melissa McCarthy. She shouts a couple times, but she's not like shouting all the time. She doesn't really play an obnoxious person. She plays a smart person, actually. Kate McKinnon plays the more sarcastic one of the group. She doesn't take every situation too seriously. It did get a bit old after a while, like every single scene she's being sarcastic and not taking the situation seriously. I'm like, okay, just concentrate, you know, there's ghosts terrorizing the city right now, but she did a good job at it, what could I say? Leslie Jones is the only non-scientist of the group and she has the most energy and pretty much most of the funny lines, but I expected her to be a lot funnier than she actually was. And I can really say the same thing for the whole film, really. Ghostbusters overall sets out to be a comedy and I just didn't really laugh that much. And that is by far my biggest negative with this film. I just didn't really find it that funny. I did chuckle quite a few times at some of the things said by the characters mainly, but there just weren't no real big laughs for me. There were no real laugh out loud moment. But it's not unbearably unfunny, which is what I was expecting from this film. A lot of the jokes don't land, but not in the way where I'm just like rolling my eyes and hating myself. The only real unbearably unfunny parts in this film are both in the trailer and they both take place at the concert scene, that part where Leslie Jones jumps off the stage and the part where they take the selfie with her and the ghost on her shoulders. There were one or two parts where the film pokes fun at the internet haters, which I found kinda neat. They would have been more effective if it was a better film. But could you imagine if this film was as terrible as a lot of people expect it to be and they still had those jabs in there at the internet haters? It would have just been like, awkward. But in my opinion, the film didn't suck, so those jabs actually worked. So as a comedy, it pretty much fails, but as a piece of entertainment, it actually kind of achieves something. All of the scenes involving the Ghostbusters ghostbusting were entertaining to watch. It wasn't the flashy, fun way, but I can't deny that those scenes entertained me. Especially in the finale, where it all kicks into high gear and it's a big battle in Times Square with all these ghosts. That was probably my favourite part of the film. The ghosts themselves actually looked pretty decent. They had some decent CGI, although sometimes it looked a little bit like Scooby-Doo. But Slimer and his wife were awful. Every time they were on the screen, I was like, get the hell off the screen right now, please. They're just going around going That was a horrible Slimer impression, but that's pretty much what he does, he and the Slimer's wife. Other characters in the film include Chris Hemsworth, who plays the Ghostbusters receptionist, and he has some funny parts as well, even though he does play an oblivious dipshit. Let's talk about the villain of this film. He's a really creepy weirdo. And I'm not just saying that, he really is a really creepy little man. The villain in this film actually kind of reminded me of Giovanni Ribisi from the Ted movies in the way he talked. He talks like, Ghostbusters, you've had your time, now I'm going to destroy you. Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the villain in this film. Then you have the cameos from the old Ghostbusters, and without spoiling their cameos in the context of the film, I'll say this. I liked Bill Murray's cameo, Sigourney Weaver's cameo was kind of a throwaway, and Dan Aykroyd's cameo felt a little bit forced into the situation that it takes place in. And since I haven't seen the original Ghostbusters films, I didn't notice any other cameos from other old Ghostbusters. I know there was more, but I didn't see them because I don't recognise the older Ghostbusters apart from Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Sigourney Weaver because she's Sigourney Weaver, although I did recognise Ozzy Osbourne's cameo, if that's saying anything at all. In the end, guys, it's like this. I went into Ghostbusters with bottom of the barrel, worst movie of 2016 expectations, but the film surprised me. It's not a great film, it's not a particularly very good film, it's not going to be in my top 10 best movies of 2016, but it's not going to be in my top 10 worst movies of 2016 either. The Ghostbusting scenes were fun, the actors did good jobs, they had good chemistry with each other. The film is gleefully aware of its own ridiculousness and it just runs with it. A lot of the comedy does fall flat, and that is my biggest problem with the film, but you can still have fun with Ghostbusters. It's just all a matter of how much you let yourself enjoy it. My experience with this film is pretty much the same one as the movie Spy that came out last year. The trailers made it look unfunny, but the film had some funny parts in it and some entertaining action sequences, and I came out of the movie thinking it was decent overall. And I'm going to give Ghostbusters the same rating I gave Spy last year, and that is a 3 out of 5. Okay, so that's my review of Ghostbusters done, and I think this is the part where all the haters and all the internet trolls and all the sad pathetic losers come out to play and start disliking the video. And I know they're doing this with every video. I mean, John Campier's Ghostbusters review has like 1,000 likes and 1,000 dislikes. This whole campaign thing where they're trying to downvote all positive reviews of Ghostbusters, and this is the part of the internet that I just cannot stand. All I'll say about that subject is this: if you want to have an opinion and say on this film, actually go and see it. Don't be one of these losers who sits in the comments and just shouts and screams how much this film sucks when you haven't even seen the film. If you don't want to see the film, then don't see it. Simple as that. Just do not type in the comment section of any video how much the film sucks because you haven't seen it. You officially have no right to say how good or bad the film is because you have no idea. Okay, a little bit of a rant over. I just thought I need to get that out there. So, Ghostbusters 2016, when you get a chance to see the film, come to this video and tell me in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.